Have you ever been to Africa? This is a fascinating continent. Unfortunately, a lot of it is poor, despite its natural riches. I often hear that the issues of economic development in Africa are related to the African mind, that Africans don't like to take risks, have no entrepreneurial spirit, and that sort of stuff. Well, that's just racist prejudice. The first time I was in Côte d'Ivoire, we drove from the economic capital, Abidjan, to the place where we were holding our seminar, Grand Bassam, some 25 kilometers away. Well, this was 25 kilometers of markets run by small entrepreneurs on both sides of the road. Everything from shoes to bananas to hats, bags of water. But these were informal markets, as I could guess and as I was told. The question is, of course, why informal? Well, a glimpse at the quality of the business climate in the country at the time could provide interesting answers. Development is based on the ability to create value for others. It is based on entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship itself is about freedom. Freedom to have ideas on how to render services, freedom to test them, freedom to succeed, and importantly, freedom to fail and make mistakes, but be responsible for them. Entrepreneurship is a fairly uncertain game. So we'd better make sure that the rules of this uncertain game, that is the legal framework, are themselves not uncertain and not too costly. Otherwise, the incentives, that is the carrot and the stick, if you will, of the entrepreneurs to set up and develop formal businesses won't be that great. And guess what? There will be fewer formal businesses, which means there will be less development, because in the informal sector, one needs to remain small for various reasons. You can't make big contracts because they are too risky, as of course you can't use courts in order to solve any kind of potential legal dispute. You need to remain under the radar of the tax administration. You deal only with the small circle of people you know. Small division of labor, small businesses, poor people. Small, poor. Many politicians blame the informal sector. They usually don't understand why there is an informal sector. And the reason is precisely that they don't do their job of making it easier for entrepreneurs to have access to the formal sector. They don't do their job of enabling a favorable business climate. Just like plants and trees in a garden, businesses need some good soil, a good institutional soil to grow. Business climate is part of the economic freedom that reflects the quality of that soil. Is it easy to set up a formal company? Is it costly? Does it take time? How many agencies must one visit before getting an authorization to open a business? Can the government change tax rules overnight? Does it charge a lot in taxes for little public services in exchange? Can monetary policy steal your entrepreneurial profits with hyperinflation? Are property rights guaranteed in order to make one's business safe? Is it long and costly to export or import goods, materials, and parts? Is it complicated and costly to hire people, to access credit, and so on, and so on? These are the kind of essential questions because they reflect the incentives of entrepreneurs to set up a formal businesses. They reflect the degree of what we call economic freedom. The Economic Freedom of the World Index, for example, is an indicator that tries to combine various dimensions of economic freedom. Let me go back to my first trip to Ivory Coast. At the time, a building permit, which is basically an official stamp, to build a storehouse, you know, that sort of stuff you need when you have a business, would cost about 20 years of average Ivorian income. 20 years of income. And obviously, it takes several years to have the stamp. Can you imagine that? That's crazy, right? How do you expect the average people to be able to pay such an amount and wait for so long for a stamp? Well, luckily, things have gotten a lot better since that time. That is why economic freedom matters, because it can help lift millions out of poverty by removing obstacles to entrepreneurship and thus development.